Ratemo and the Thank you, Ratemo and the PELUM family. I am happy to be here and to connect with colleagues both at PELUM and within the larger PELUM family. I was once a member of that family, having worked for a local NGO. So welcome all, welcome everyone. I want to welcome my colleagues, but before that, Justdigit is an environmental NGO. It works with grassroots organizations, or in your case, farmer-facing organizations, to restore degraded landscapes across Africa. Justdigit presence in Africa has been in Tanzania, Kenya, Senegal, and operations activities in Ethiopia and Uganda. Justdigit is 10 years old, but the Nairobi office is now 5 years old. It is based in our headquarters in Amsterdam office. I want to welcome my colleagues. I'll start Patricia. Just state your name and your role. Patricia.
Thank you, Sam. So my name is Patricia Richard Gisralo, and I work with Justdigit as the Digital Community Coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Patricia is based in our Tanzanian office. I want to welcome Margot.
Hi, everyone. I'm Margot Fredericks. I am project manager in this digital regreening team of Justdigit, working for the organization more than 8 years, and I'm based in the Netherlands.
And lastly, Carl.
Thank you, Sam. My name is Carl Lens. I'm based in the Amsterdam office, where I head the digital regreening team.
Thank you, Carl. I did mention my role. I'm a program manager. I'm based at the Nairobi office. So we'll start with a short video which will further explain about Justdigit and what we do. Carl, next.
Hi, we are Justdigit, here to regreen degraded landscapes in Africa and cool down the planet. We've been doing this from the ground up, hand with local communities and partners in sub-Saharan Africa for over a decade, because regreening is done together. In Kenya and Tanzania, together with local communities, we have dug more than 450,000 bunds, or as we like to call them, earth smiles, so rainwater can enter the ground, turning dry land green again. Together with LEAD Foundation, we inspire farmers to recover trees with a technique called tree covery, also known as Kisiki High. Over 18 million trees are now alive and kicking, and more than 400,000 hectares of land have been brought under restoration in sub-Saharan Africa. Spreading the word is the path to better soil fertility, more crop yields, and a cooler microclimate. Why we use positive storytelling and communication to touch the hearts and minds of people all over the world and inspire farmers in our project area to dig in with us. We have launched a groundbreaking solution to truly scale up the regreening with interactive online courses and personalized advice based on GPS location. Restoring land becomes easy, accessible, and fun. Farmers can begin learning to regreen their own land wherever they are, and without the need for on-site organizations or trainers. We are building a regreening movement, together with farmers, NGOs, ambassadors, brands, institutions, and you. This is the decade of doing. So let's do this. Dig in. Cooling down the planet. Justdigit.
You're muted, Samwel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Carl. So The short video shows more of what we do. I will highlight a few more slides that will also explain to you what we do. We restore degraded landscapes using nature-based solutions. Our toolkit includes rainwater harvesting interventions like soil bands, water retention ditches, and stone lines. But we also use tree cover techniques like FMNR, ANR, among others. So what you see on the screen is basically a digger, and the lady on the left of the screen proudly displaying her FMNR tree. Next. Yeah, so FMNR is a four-step process that involves what we call chapoa, as it has been crafted in Tanzania. The first-step process involves chagua, which means select, pogolea, which means prune, alama, which means mark. As you see, the farmer is putting a mark, and tunza, which means care. So hopefully also with Pelham and yourselves, we will get into this journey together. Next. Yeah, I mentioned about rainwater harvesting interventions, and you can see water bands. So the bands, or earth smiles as we like to call them, they harvest rainwater, thereby slowing down surface runoff. The harvested rainwater infiltrates into the ground, as you can see, thereby enhancing soil moisture. Soil moisture enables seeds that are in the soil seed bank to sprout and become centers of revegetation. Eventually, the whole degraded area will be covered with vegetation. However, sometimes the area is too degraded that the soil seed bank is depleted. In such cases, we reseed with native rangeland grasses. We buy the grass seeds from grass seed banks, which are managed by women. You can see this is one example of a grass seed bank. It's not in the app, but I thought it would be nice for you to see it. Thank you, Carl. So in overall, we would like to contribute or have a positive impact on regional climate, but we also contribute to enhanced biodiversity, carbon sequestration, water retention, livelihoods, ultimately increased crop yields, better field facility, and also, of course, we are also working with pastoralists, so we are also talking about uh, good livestock quality. Next. So we've realized great impact. We've realized great impact with our tree recovery. This is talking about FMNR in Tanzania. In central Tanzania, we've achieved millions of numbers in terms of trees that have been recovered through FMNR. In Kenya, we have a tree recovery program targeting almost 500,000 trees in the South Rift. So we hope we can work together to bring back millions of trees in Kenya, partnering with the PELUM and yourselves. In terms of our contribution so far, we have impacted 500,000 hectares of land. Those are the hectares that are under restoration. I will leave it here for my colleague to explain to you that as Justdigit, we can only do so much in terms of having boots on the ground. And since we can't be everywhere at the same time, then we want to use the digital space to be able to enhance our reach because our ambition is big. We want to restore degraded lands across Africa. Thank you. Over to you, Carl.
Thank you, Samwel. Yes, the need to speed up and the need to scale up is really the reason why we started building something. We started building the digital regreening platform because we see that there is so much potential for regreening, and only so little is done. We are very proud, of course, on the 500,000 hectares that are under restoration, and there are a lot of good projects happening everywhere. But as a whole, we have a battle to win, and we have to speed up and to scale up. So this is our attempt to do this and to play our role in this. But we know that we cannot do this alone, and that's why we're very happy that you are here. And I want to show you the possibilities that digital regreening have for you as well. So over the last decade, we have learned a lot about the different regreening interventions that exist. Samwel told you about FMNR and water buns are just two of the examples of techniques that can actually do this, to regreen the degraded land in Africa that has regreening potential. We also learned a lot about communication on the fundraising side, telling about all the good things that are happening in regreening, but also in rural communication, communicating with farmers and pastoralists. We've also learned a lot about partnerships that we cannot do without partners on the ground with local roots and local connections, just like the partners that you are with PELUM. What we believe is that digital regreening will enable us to use this knowledge and also the knowledge of our partners to have much more impact. And that's what we want to show you, how we are starting in East Africa. But if we succeed here, then we can succeed everywhere in Africa where there's regreening potential. And actually, that regreening potential is not the real problem. We actually know quite precisely where there is potential for these techniques. And we have a lot of experience already. You also have a lot of experience already. And with all the available data about where this can be applied, the challenge is not so much on the interventions. It's really about how to reach people, how to inspire people, educate them, and really activate this knowledge. And that's where Kijani comes in. This is our app that we have built for Android devices that can play a role in this inspiration and education and activation of knowledge for farmers. And it looks a little bit like this. So when people download the Kijani app,
hi, my friend.
They are welcomed
I'm
by Baraka.
Congratulations on downloading this Kijani app. With this app, I've learned how to improve my farm and increase my yield. You can do this
Baraka
too.
is actually an AI avatar, so it's not a real person, and he can talk many different languages. Of course, Swahili, but later in the future also other languages. After sharing your location as a user, you get personalized advice on the regreening techniques that might benefit you and your farm. And with step-by-step instructions and animations like you're seeing here on the screen, you can learn all these techniques and actually apply them for yourself. And if you do that, we ask to track the progress and to show that progress by uploading a picture with the GPS coordinates of that impact. So in this way, all the steps of teaching people how to use certain techniques, but also getting help in actually reaching results with these techniques can be digitized. And here's an example of a course of buns, so the water buns example. But there's also a course on FMNR, which we call tree covery or Kisiki High in Swahili. And these are all the 10 courses that are currently in the app. And this is just the beginning, but the theme here is quite clear. They are all relatively simple techniques that you can learn without spending any money. This is something you can learn to do yourself. It's nature-based, and it is proven to have a lot of impact on the richness of the soil, the richness of the farmer, because livelihoods are also getting better, and richness of biodiversity. So the techniques are proven, and this new way of teaching this together with digital tools, that's where we really innovate and try to scale up the regreening world as a whole.
Before, when it rained,
To
I would see the
get an
rain.
idea of the kind of content that we can have, there's this little movie about Zijpits, another very effective technique that can really boost crop yields for farmers and retain a lot more water on the farm. And this is a 3D model that we've made to really explain very clearly what this model is about. So I'll show it for a couple of seconds so you have an idea about the content that is available in the app.
Waterfall on the hard soil in my field and flow away. The water would be brown because of the fertile soil it would take with it. Even after good rains, my soil would still be hard and dry and my harvest poor. I started digging Zijpits because my neighbor showed me how well they worked on his farm. Zij look like normal planting holes but larger with a wider space between them. Those spaces of bare earth help collect the rainwater and feed it to the holes. In the Zijpits you add some compost and afterwards your seeds. When it rains, the water and soil that would otherwise wash away and be lost to my crops will now flow into the Zijpits. The pits keep the water in my field and stop erosion. This captured runoff and compost keeps the pits wetter long after the rains have passed. This is what makes them so effective. My crops now grow strong and healthy, and you too can have a harvest where there was none before.
And this is the introduction movie about Zijpits. But if you take the course, you will see a lot more different movies that zoom into the different pits and show them how deep they have to be and how wide and how they should be spaced towards each other. So we will really go through all the steps to get people to implement these techniques in the correct way, bringing a lot of benefits to people. So actually there's a lot of intelligence behind this app that users will not necessarily see, but they will experience the benefits from. I have explained that we know quite well where the regreening potential in landscapes is. And this is an example of that. You see two colors projected on Tanzania map where we launched last year. The green layer is the suitability area for buns. So in the green areas, buns can be very successful. The purple area is as barrier strips. You might be familiar with that method, but the red dots here on the map, they are very important. Users in Tanzania. We have 20,000 users now in Tanzania. From share their location, where they are, what kind of technical to that farm will be able to like base location. This method of digging water buns can really benefit your farm, and in that way we personalize the advice we give to farmers. This is something that we really believe in, that it can have a huge benefit, because it is not just some static information, but it's really personalized, and we make the advice more valuable. Another way that we really believe we can make our content more valuable is by collaborating with organizations like yours. So with farmer-facing organizations that already work with farmers. And with this app, you might have the idea that we want to replace physical presence, but that's absolutely not what we are after. We really want to combine the best of the digital world with the best of the physical world. And we really want to help you as organizations make more impact. And how that works in Kijani is that you can have an organization profile, just like you would have on, for instance, Instagram or other social media. You are present on that profile, and you can work with your farmers in new ways because of Kijani. And in this stage, when we are launching in Kenya in about a month, it is possible for you to also have a profile of your organization in Kijani that people can follow. And then you can publish all kinds of information that are relevant to your farmers, the farmers that you are working with. This can also be done with notifications, for instance. So you can send notifications to the farmers that follow you about messages that are relevant to them at times that are also relevant. This can be all kinds of content, which we tell you a little bit more about later. But as you can see, PELUM is already on the list. Actually, PELUM is the first Kenyan organization that can be followed in Kijani. And in about a month's time, we are going to launch the app officially in Kenya. And then we hope that some of you, the organizations present here in the call, will also have their profile on this list. So what organizations can expect from us is, apart from making your profile visible in the app, we give you some assistance. And Patricia here, also in the call, she just introduced herself, will support your organization with creating content that is really valuable and to publish that in the app. Also, the scheduling of notifications to your farmers is done in collaboration with the community manager. And we help you to spread the word about this app. So we have some materials like the brochure you see here on the left, on the right, sorry. And we can help you spread that information. We also have digital information that can be branded with your logo, so that you can invite farmers to start learning. Done with a special link, as you can see here on the right. It's for a Tanzanian organization called Shiwakuta, but there's also a link for PELUM, and if you follow that link, then they go to the App Store, but per user in the app, a welcoming message of the organization, of your organization. So what you see here, I'll let it play again. One of the first messages you see is you're joining an organization. You're joining, in this case, PELUM Kenya, and you see a welcoming message of the organization. This is part of the onboarding of all the new users that come in through the unique link. And here in the top, there are also messages. So these are the notifications that you can also send as an organization. And this welcome message is there. So it's really clear for people that this is Kijani, but it is also brought to you by a partner organization, which is your organization. And from this point onwards, you have this digital communication channel with your farmers, which can augment your normal communication that you already have with farmers. What you're looking at now is the basket. The basket is our media section where you can share movies, articles.
Before national independence in 1961, people lived widely scattered around here.
So in this way, there are many different
with a lot of wildlife.
There are many different ways of giving relevant information. It can be about weather, it can be about seeds, it can be about techniques that you are training them in, and really, your imagination is the limiting factor in what's possible, because the app can support a lot of it already. So this is the time that we can make this session a little bit more interactive. And the first thing we would like to ask you is to go to this address, to pelum.kijani.app. I have to say this is only relevant for Android users. So there's unfortunately not an app for iPhone. We have learned that our target audience of smallholder farmers is mostly active on the Android platform. But if you have an Android phone, please go to this link, pelum.kijani.app, and you will be sent to the App Store, the Play Store. And there, if you install the app, you will go through the same steps that I just showed you. So the onboarding of the app will show you the picture of PELUM and give you the welcome message of PELUM. And from that point, you are following PELUM in the Kijani app. So I will give you some more seconds to install it. All right, I will continue, but please have a look for yourself to the app. Another way that I want to make this present inspiration, which means inspiring people to start regreening. And we know that we are successful if we talk about digital regreening, if people have downloaded the app, because there is this inspiration, something that sparked that I want to learn more, I want to do something with this. Then there's education. Education is the actual training, the transmission of knowledge about a specific technique. Taking what you have learned into practice and start making impact. In our programs, also the programs that Samwel is managing, we work a lot with farmers and pastoralists to really answer questions people have, to monitor the results that there are, to coach people in tackling new problems. So activation is probably also something that you are doing with a lot. And the celebrating is also very important. It is showing the results and also inspiring others with it so that you can close the loop and have more people in there. So what I hope is that you recognize some of these steps in your own work, in your organization. And thinking about the question of what will it take for us to make more impact and to scale up regreening, to scale up making impact, what is the biggest bottleneck? So I'm hoping for some insights from you as organizations that work with farmers. If you can share a little bit about your biggest bottleneck in this process of training farmers. There are two options. Maybe you can post it in the chat and then we can look at some of the inputs, but it's also okay if you raise your hand and just share what you want to say. So the question is, what is the biggest bottleneck to make more impact in your organization?
Hello, if you want to speak, just raise your hand and you'll speak.
I think everyone is busy with installing.
Which is great. I'm giving kudos now in the chat, so that's fantastic. So anybody wants to say something about the way that they can make more impact? What's the bottleneck? What's holding you back from making more impact? I see some answers in the chat. Emma, the biggest challenge in training pastoralists in agroecology is lack of adequate water in the semi-arid conditions. That's a great insight. And it's basically the same as what Helen says, or similar. Water shortage, especially in arid and semi-arid areas, impairs the restoration efforts, and also issues of free grazing, especially during the dry seasons. Samwel, are you comfortable to answer these or to say something about how the different techniques can help in with this particular problem?
Thank you. I agree with Helen. Water shortage, especially in arid and semi-arid areas, impairs the restoration efforts and ensure also issues of free grazing during the dry seasons. So, and that's also one of the reasons why we are focusing on rainwater harvesting interventions using the earth smiles technique or soil bands. But even as we do that, we also touch on governance to manage grazing. So the two go hand in hand together. But when, of course, when bands are done, they're done in a way that takes care of seasonality. So they're just done and then just before the rains. So that's how we manage that challenge. Emma says the biggest challenge in training pastoralists in agroecology is the lack of adequate water in the semi-arid conditions. So this is true not only trainings on agroecology, but all development work in semi-arid and arid areas. Usually pastoralists take time to look for water and pastures, and you have to plan your interventions in a way that it doesn't affect when they need that time most.
Yeah. Thanks, Samwel. So another interesting comment from Mark Vincent Oba: low engagement and participation, even with vision and resources. If members aren't fully committed or active, impact slows down. Sometimes people join organizations for titles, not service. How can we cope with this challenge? It's a very interesting topic. I would love to shed a little bit more light on it. Just before I want to show the courses again to talk about the water harvesting. So a couple of the methods are really focusing on harvesting water and also dealing with drought. So in a way, tree cover is also so the FMNR method is also good for retaining water on your land, but especially zai pits, grass barrier strips, contours and slopes, and bunds are really relevant in this topic as well. So this digital trainings can play a role in helping people with the problems that you mentioned. So the other topic that Mark Vincent is sharing, engagement and participation, is really important for how we look at the added value of Kijani. So this slide is a lot of words, but I want to explain you a little bit how we think about using digital tools in your work, how we can support you in making more impact. And that's basically supporting the different steps in the process as we have modeled it through inspiration, education, activation, celebration. What we see is that we can inspire people with digital media now. So a lot of the people that you're working with are also using YouTube, TikTok, social media, and they're consuming media on their phones. So why not more media on inspiring people to start regreening and to improve their soil, improve their farm, improve their livelihoods? The same goes for education. We think that by using digital tools, we can do more. So for instance, if you're already training people, what would happen with the effectiveness and the efficiency of your training if you give people a little bit of homework before they go to the training and some homework after? So what we see is that we are actually able to teach people more, and also more interventions. So on a training, you probably are teaching one or a couple of techniques, but what we can do, a digital tool, is that you can teach people more once they're at home and are finishing their collaboration. So one of the possibilities that you get with using Kijani is sending notifications. And we think that is especially important in the activation stage. So after a training, for instance, we can send out notifications on multiple times. So maybe your organization also have some experience with SMS programs where done, right? So you send out some messages, making the knowledge that was taught and learned in the training a bit more active, a bit more top of mind, and in that way you will improve basically the impact of your training. So what we can do with digital is work with incentives too. So you can put in prizes and put in some extra incentives digitally to do more. So this is another way of using Kijani, or using this new digital communication channel with your farmers to make more impact. And the last one is about word of mouth. So word of mouth, people telling others about it, is really the most important way of spreading the message. We have learned that a lot of people use Kijani with others, and they also share it with others. So every user is not just the user itself, it's being part of a community and having a lot of ripple effect. And you can make that ripple effect of your training also bigger if you keep in touch with your audience, with the people you train after the training in a digital way. So this is what we're after. We want to help you make more impact with your efforts through Kijani. This is also why it's free for you to participate. We are a non-profit organization, and we are not after your money. We are after your impact and your participation in spreading the word about successful techniques. So what we ask from you is that if you think this is interesting, if you think we can make more impact together, that you, in the next couple of weeks, fill in this form. And if you have any questions, contact Samwel, so that you can be part of the first organizations in Kenya to be featured in Kijani. As I told you, in the first week of October, we will be present at the International Trade Fair in Nairobi, which is the moment that we are going to officially launch the app in Kenya. So it will be a new version of the app where Kenya will be a separate country. So you have a chance now to be one of the organizations that are on the list in the app at that point.
Tal, there's a question whether the app will be available in languages other than Kiswahili and English.
Eventually, yes. Eventually, that's definitely the target. We want to be relevant for all smallholder farmers in sub-Saharan Africa. And that means that we have to translate to a lot of languages. And the order of those languages is not set in stone yet, but of course, the biggest languages will have the highest priority. Also in areas where there's more regreening potential will also have higher priority. We focus on English and Swahili at this point, but of course, other big languages like French, for instance, but also Wolof we're looking at, and there are a lot of other languages that we are looking at. So if you have a specific request, please get in touch. We are curious about it. I don't think, are there other questions we should focus on? Yeah, then so back to the call to action before we can maybe answer some other questions you might have. So if you fill in this form, we will get back in touch with you as soon as possible to set you up in the Kijani app. So you can be one of the organizations that is part of the launch in Kenya, and that will be one of the first, really an early adopter in Kenya. So we really hope that a lot of you will do that, and that we can make impact together. So thank you for your attention so far. I see we have quite some time to be able to answer some questions you might have. So if you have questions, please share. You can also raise your hand to just speak.
Thank you. There is a question from the chat. Can we from other nation join the October launch in, I think he's from Nigeria. Yeah.
Yes, that's great. Of course, it is possible. You can already download the app everywhere. What we mean with the launch in Kenya is actually that we have a special version of the app that will ask you if you are in Kenya, and then you will see different things than in the rest of the world. So if you select the Kenyan language, so the Kenyan Swahili or Kenyan English, then you will have a slightly different app experience than somebody somewhere else. So for instance, all the organizations that we will feature in the app in Kenya will not be visible for you in Nigeria. And of course, in Nigeria, there's a lot of regreening potential too, and we will eventually be looking at translating to the most popular languages in Nigeria to see if we can translate the content and make a special version for Nigeria as well.
Thank you. Then another question from Clifford. How different is it from WeFarm app Ulimayang? Yeah, I don't know. I guess what's unique about the app, if I'm not wrong.
I am looking at Patricia or Samwel, if you know any of those apps specifically, because I do know what's unique about Kijani, but I don't know these apps well enough.
Yeah, I think the other app is also focusing on linking farmers to market opportunities and stuff like that. Then this app focuses on enhancing productivity for the farmer. So that's what I see as the difference. But then this app also is twofold, as you've explained. It enables organizations like farmer-facing organizations to be able to keep contact, communicate, and receive feedback from their farmers. It's a two-way communication, but also it enables the farmer to directly interact with his or her land.
Thank you. We have other questions. For those who are online, please feel free to put a voice to your question also. But I'm going to read out from the chat. So from Jeff Opio, this app is cool, especially because it can disseminate information to farmers. Kilifi is dry, and this will be a game changer to curb the increasing desertification, regreening Africa to tame climate change. And then Alfred Chirchir had a question. What about the elderly in the community who are there in our groups? Does SMS work well with them? Let me untake that question and then I read the next.
Yes.
Yeah,
So yeah, go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, our experience is that I remember in the lunch in Arusha, there were elderly people who are very enthusiastic about the information that was in the app, but they didn't own an Android phone. But they remembered that they have people in the family that owned the Android phone. So they were able to access the information through family members who had Android phones. You find an elderly person, but staying with the youth. So that can work in that manner. But then SMS services also works.
Thank you. There's a question from Andrew. Are there other learning materials apart from the 9 that are displayed, or is the material region specific? And also answer, will you be working with farm groups? Yeah.
Yes, there are other learning materials. That is mostly in the media section. So a full course is not always the only way to communicate. You can also put articles, little movies, audio files in the media section, and that you can learn from that as well. That's also learning materials. As far as trainings, so really the courses are concerned, we think that there are maybe even hundreds of relevant courses. But of course, if you're adding hundreds of courses, then you need to be region specific. Then you don't want to overwhelm people with all the things that you can learn. We have to make it very relevant and to add filters. At this point, the courses that we have are very widely applicable. So you can use these methods in a lot of areas. So it's not necessary at this point for us to do that filtering. What we do have is the notifications that are based on your location, and we do send notifications only to the people that are living in the areas where the techniques are applicable. So that's how we deal with it right now. But the vision is that there are many different things that we can teach, and we also want to have local knowledge featured in the app. So this is another reason why we really hope that organizations like yours are going to publish content in the app as well. Publish content that's really locally relevant and can have a lot of value for people in that area. So that's definitely what we are able to support you with and to disseminate that knowledge. The other question about the farmer groups. Yes, the features that we have explained to you are available to other groups. That's really how we want to make the connection between the best of the digital world and the best of the physical world, and to have this hybrid approach to making more impact. So the question is yes. The answer is yes.
I think just following up, I think they also want to ask if you as the Kijani App developers are going to also take it to the farmer groups. Here in Kenya, we work with groups. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So you can respond. Yeah, if you're going to directly work with farmers. Yeah.
So it is possible for everybody to download the app, and we think that can have impact, definitely. But we believe a lot more in impact when we can collaborate with organizations on the ground. So I don't really know the difference between where the line is between farm groups and organizations, but the answer is still yes, because we really want to learn in the next period on what is really making a lot of impact. So if you have specific ideas, then please get in touch. We can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a question from Godfrey. Will the app include discussion forums for users to share experience? And also from the Justdigit team, you can also respond to some questions on the chat because of time. Yeah, thank you.
I was about to answer that question in the chat, but I can also answer it here. It is on our minds to make it possible for farmers to interact with each other, to ask a question to their fellow farmer, share experience with each other. So it's on our app development wish list, but we do want to take the time for that before adding it to the app. And also considering it's can be quite heavy to add this kind of functionality to the app. And it means that you need to be online as well, because our app is for a big part also offline. What we do right now is we want to share the experience that we receive via our WhatsApp chat functionality, and with consent, we publish these in the basket, so in the media section, and sometimes also share it via notifications. So this way, we want to make it possible to share some testimonies, but also challenges.
Thank you. There are so many questions on the chat, so I'll just pick the one that has not been asked, but I'm hoping the team can respond on chat. So how can youth benefit from this opportunity? Because I feel knowledge empowerment for youth in business is very key. So Collins is more focused on agribusiness from the app. Yeah.
Focused on agribusiness. Let me.
So,
yeah,
my
ahead.
initial thoughts is if you enhance productivity, then your income is likely to be enhanced too. So that focuses on agribusiness. I think the youth have most smartphones in their hands, and if they can use that tool to empower themselves to better productivity, then the business part will be covered because there will be increased yields and increased income.
Thank you. If you, Collins, are you able to put your mic on, to put a voice in case you're not answered? Collins?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ratemo, for this opportunity. Personally, I see the app being very beneficial, and I'm very much specific on working with the youth, because how do we use the app, as the facilitator has said, to increase production? So my main focus is how can the app be applied to increase production, at the same time promoting increased livelihood for the youth that we work for in the communities. Thank you.
Anyone from the team who'd like to take that and continue?
I would be very open to talk more about those opportunities.
Maybe I can add. You see, the courses at the moment they are 9, but in future we are going to increase the courses. So maybe we can have one on a value addition or agribusiness. But of course, we are not promising that you'll get markets. You'll have to go the extra mile. Yeah, thank you.
I wish I came up with that answer, Ratemo.
Yeah. Okay, we take one question as we finish. Is there anyone who wants to be given the mic before I read on the chat? Anyone wants to raise their question? Okay. So from the chat, just random, I think most of you have answered. So there's a comment, kindly make the app available in other browsers. Personally can't be able to download since it's only on Google Play. Hannah, which phone are you using? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is definitely something that we want to look at, and making a web version of content is indeed interesting. The big benefit of making an app for Android is that you can have offline courses, so you're not depending on a good internet connection. Once you have downloaded the app, you can do the courses and you can use the app as you like, and you also don't have to download any content again. So that's the reason. There are other reasons, because in an app it's very easy to share your location and to also make use of the camera, for instance. But it is possible to do it in a browser, and it is on our roadmap somewhere in the future. But yeah, we focus on the Android version first. Hope for your patience in the meanwhile.
Thank you. I think we are about to finish. And before we do that, I want to give Samwel a chance to, because he's here from Kenya, how are we going to reach you? And you can put your email on the chat. Yeah.
Thank you, Ratemo. Yeah, much appreciation for this opportunity to connect. I am in the Nairobi office, as I mentioned, so I'm sharing shortly my email and my telephone contact in case you need to reach out to me and discuss further.
Okay. And there's a comment that is burning from Charity. So Helen, do you mind just giving you a minute to ask your question? The question about what you did in Tanzania. Helen, as we finish? Helen?
Ratemo.
Yes, please ask your question because someone has right on your question about your work in Tanzania. Please ask.
Oh, I think Samwel has answered that, because I was wondering, because some landscapes are like shared goods for communities, and bringing communities together to work on a landscape that they are sharing becomes very difficult at times, keeping them motivated and implementing things that are at communal scale. So I was wondering, what are some of the best practices that they have embraced as Justdigit to keep the farmers or communities motivated, implementing these restoration activities at a communal scale? And I think he responded to that adequately.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So Charity, I think it was responded, but someone has put his number and email on the chat. For those, maybe I can read it out. The number is 0727 777354. You can reach out to him direct and he'll be able to respond. So we want to finish, and I want to thank everyone for joining this webinar. This is the first of many. If you want additional maybe webinars, please drop an email to Samwel and we are going to organize again. Right, Samwel?
That's okay. That's okay.
Yes. So thank you everyone for joining, and it's the end of our webinar. And please try the app. It's free, it's for us, and you can even share with your farmers, those who have smartphones, so that they also learn from the app. So very soon we are going to have other engagement regarding this app. So thank you everyone for joining. It was just a 1 hour webinar, and we want to stop there. Maybe I welcome someone. You have a parting shot.
Carl?
Yeah.
Margot?
Yeah.
Please be one of the early adopters. Get in touch, and hopefully we can work together.
Okay.
Margot, some words of encouragement?
Yeah, I'm happy to see so many people being interested and sharing some really good questions. Yeah, I think we want to keep learning and want to keep on improving the app. This is not the final product. We keep on adding features that are very important. So yeah, we're also very open in making this even better impact tool.
So
Patricia.
thank you. Oh, Patricia. Patricia, you need to say more than one sentence.
Mine is just a thank you to everybody who joined. It was really an insightful session, and I hope we'll keep interacting, and I hope they keep enjoying the app for now. So yeah, asante sana, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ratemo. Yeah.
So for any questions on the app, the number is on the chat. Maybe someone posts again. And feel free to reach out to him. I think the number is also on WhatsApp, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So you can screenshot if you have issues and he'll be able to assist. Yeah. I want to end the webinar, so I think that's it. So thank you for the Justdigit team for joining, and we really appreciate this information about Kijani app. And during the launch, we are going to be there. Thank you.
Bye.
I give it a minute and then I end for all. Thank you, Carl. You have spoken the most. Much appreciated.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.